I say, man, I would tell anybody, man, that going through that situation, fighting the case right now, man, I'm talking about take responsibility on yourself. Don't worry about what's going on around you because at the end of the day, man, you're going to have to do that time. And like I say, man, if you living with somebody then did somebody did that, man, you're going to never have a peace of mind.
Right. Did you did the whole 13?
Did the whole 13, man. I was expecting, man. I thought I was going to do 5 to 6 years, man.
Oh man, that's correct. Why such a high number? What was you getting
Man,
flopped or was that your sentence?
that was my sentence. But like I say, man, I never even had a juvenile record.
That's what I was
And
about to ask you.
like I say, man, I caught my case in Oakland County. And by me being from Detroit, I understood like they're going to show you, man. Don't come out here with that.
Hey,
Don't
hey,
come out. It
that's
was
fair.
it was it was it was well understood, man. Like I say, man, I wasn't mad at nobody, man. At the end of the day, man, you gotta set responsibility for self, man. I'm talking about all that pity party. It is what it is, man. Go in there. I went in there. I was like, man, let me get busy with this law work. Let me start educate myself to how law go. And then once I started doing that, man, I understood. Like, man, you take that plea, man, you're through. I'm talking about because you admit to a crime, and like I say, man, they have a 97% conviction rate. Like I say, once you commit to that plea, no matter if you did it, some of the things you did or not, man, it's going to be extremely hard trying to get up out that place. And like I
Right.
say, man, I was going through, man, fighting all the time, spending money on these lawyers. It kept on getting denied, kept on getting denied, man. But at the end of the day, man, I was like, I'm gonna let this situation, man. I'm gonna make the best out of the situation, no matter what I'm facing.
Well, well, let's backtrack a little bit. So you get sentenced, you get to go to you go to prison. How did you start off? Was you wild or did you acclimate well? Did somebody help you adjust? What went on early
Man,
on?
man, I'm a laid back person. So the first thing I did was, man, like I ain't gonna never forget. First, you know what I'm saying? Everybody know when you first get sentenced, you're going to Jackson. So when I'm from the Oakland County, so I was there with all them Pontiac boys, man. Like I say, shout out to them boys, man. It was so much love, man. I remember being in there. I'm talking about they embraced me, man. I'm talking about they was in there, man, rapping all the D songs at the time, man. It's so much love to them boys out that way, man. So when I came on that bus or whatever, and with them Flint boys, so it was Oakland County and Flint, we all came out. And like I say, my first thing, man, I'm an observant person, man. I wanted to see what was going on, everything was moving. So when I went to MR, everybody know MR, it is game time. That's a disciplinary prison. So when I was in that location, man, I'm talking about I can never forget, we was in the rotunda. And the guy was like, man, he was sitting there asking, he was like, man, you know what type of prison this is? Man, I'm coming from the streets, I don't know. He said, man, it's a disciplinarian joint. Then when he said that, I was like, man, what's that? He was like, man, this was people who had serious cases and people who been messing up all through the joint. He was like, man, you had I block and J block. Man, they called my name. They said I was going to J block. I said, oh man.
You froze up.
Happened to me because it taught me how to do time.
Hold on, bro. You froze up. Go back to the J block. I'm gonna edit it all up, but you froze up when you said you was going to J block.
When they told me, man, I'm talking about, they called my name. They said, man, you going to J block. I say, oh my God. So, you know what I'm saying? So right there, man, that was the best thing that ever happened to me because that place showed me how to do time because it was so serious, man. It taught me those rules I learned in that level 4. It helped me get through my whole prison bit.
What's some of the craziest rules that you had to abide by to keep
Man,
the
I'm
peace?
talking to keep the peace. And level 4, man, it's respect over everything. And level 4, you cross the line, you lay in that line. So,
Right.
man, within there, man, like I say, man, it's politics everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, by me being from Detroit, you know what I'm saying? The farther you go, the more united we is. But at the end of the day, man, everybody, it's so many different organizations, so many different cliques. In there, man, you had GDs, you had Vice Lords, you had Bloods, you had Crips, you had Moes, you had Moors, you had, bro, I'm talking about Nation of Islam, man. You had Aryan Brotherhood, man. What it was, man, I'm talking about we was locked up for Thanksgiving. We was locked up for Christmas. We was locked up for New Year's. Like there, it was game time 24/7, man. So it was just a blessing, man, to be at a place like this and learn, man, because those guys, when I first came down, they had maybe the shortest time on my rock, 13 years. So, man, I had guys, man, who had 2 natural life sentences, 3 natural life sentences, 70 years. They was putting me up on game, man, because they wanted me to come home and do great things, man. They was like, man, you gonna be the one, bro. You got a release date.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, that's crazy. You say 13 years was the shortest time. That's
Yes.
crazy to think about. But up there, did any like religious groups gravitate towards you, try to pull you in?
Man, I'm talking about, of course, man. I'm talking about it wasn't a group on the compound that didn't want me to rock with him, man, because the way I moved, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, but it was just like, man, like, man, I'm a politician, man. Like I say, man, I didn't ever want to exit myself out of just people in general. So I just moved how I moved freely because they know, man, how I was moving, man. I wasn't nobody way, I wasn't nobody lane. I was just in there, man, doing my time, moving and grooving, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, what did you do to pass time though? Like, and then where did the book writing come in? There, what part was this?
Man, so like, first of all, like, I'm going to go to, you know what I'm saying, level 4. So I end up meeting one of my closest ever, man, in level 4. So I would see dude, you know, level 4, you get 15 minutes to use the phone. I would see dude moving around with books always in his hand. I'm like, bro, this is different. You know, level 4, man, everybody got to be hyper tough. You know how I go, bro. But dude was
Mm-hmm.
moving different. Too many guys that moved like that. So I asked him, I said, bro, what do you do, bro? Because he worked in a law library. He's a paralegal. Me and bro just rocked with each other every day. And it was so crazy because he was from Flint. And you know, at that time, man, it was unheard of for Detroit and Flint dudes to rock with each other because, like I say, all it took for one situation and everybody, and it'd be an all-out war on the yard. Me and bro end up locking in with each other, bro. We'd be hitting the yard every day. So and it was so crazy. Later on, he the one that end up co-writing this book with me. It's the first time I had somebody, you know what I'm saying, jump in and co-write with me. But you know what I'm saying with that. But from there, when I left MR, I ended up going to Macomb. Ended up going to Macomb level 2. Man, that was a whole different experience because every joint is different circumstances. Like and when I was in MR, we was all from Detroit. When I got to level 2, it was East Side West Side. It was, man,
Right.
it was that on 1,000, man. And at the time, you know, two of our biggest Detroit rap groups was feuding at the time.
And
So
who was that? Like Blade and Hurt?
nah, it was you know what I'm saying, it was Team Eastside and Doughboys at the time.
Oh, okay.
So it would be so crazy, like when anytime like a West Side guy, like when my birthday come around, we'd be in the day room, you know, doing what we do. It'd be Doughboys. Then somebody from the East Side, they playing Team East Side. You know, they playing Vezo, Peasy, and all them guys. So, like I say, man, I've been locked up with everybody you can think of, man. You know what I'm saying? People did documentaries on. I was locked up with them 3 and 4 times, man. So it was, you know, that was a whole different circumstance, man. So, you know, level 2, Macomb, man, that East Side, West Side stuff was on tip, bro. So, like I say, I end up getting real close with with one of the main guys from the East Side, and I was one of the main guys from the West Side. Man, I ended up getting close with Fotu Mere. And me, you know what I'm saying, that's like my brother, man. So me and him end up building a close relationship. And from there, that diffused all that East Side, West Side stuff. And from there, we was moving as a unit.
Mm. I went back up a little bit. You went deep on me. You never told me exactly how did you get into the book writing? What inspired you to exactly do it?
Man,
Tell me that story.
I got into the book writing, man. I was in Muskegon level 1.
Uh-huh.
Man, it was this brother named King, man. He was in my cube. Man, he was a 5%er. And he was always about knowledge itself. So, man, like I say, my auntie had wrote a book and sent me a book when I was in prison. But like I say, it was totally different, bro. I'm talking to him. He was like, "Yeah, man, I write books." He showed me a book. I said, "Bro, this is real, bro." Man, I'm talking about the best thing a person can do for somebody is give them hope and inspiration. I looked at him. I said, "Bro, how did you do this?" Man, he didn't withhold no information or nothing. Man, he gave me all the information in the world. I said, "Bro, I'm never gonna forget you for this, bro. I'm never gonna forget you." From there, I took all the information down because I was just writing. Because I was into music before I left. I had dudes rapping for me and everything. I had did songs with Street Lords, Rock Bottom, all type of stuff. So when I was in there, I'm like, dude, people always wonder what I was doing. I'd just be jotting notes. So he was like, man, he asked me what I was doing. When I told him, he was like, bro, you need to make that a book. I was thinking of more so just doing a documentary. He said, bro, put that out. I said, bet. I'm one of them type of people, bro. You tell me something, I'm gonna act on it. Because a lot of people, you give them good advice, man, they gonna sit there, think about it for a while, scratch their head, you'll never hear nothing from it. I said, bet. So I started everything was already in a timeline. So I started writing everything out. So I would get on the phone every day. I had multiple people I was talking to. So I would get on the phone. I'm like, man, send me stuff, Instagram. What's going on with these rappers? They would send me stuff. I'm seeing how they dressing, what they talking about, everything. And then, you know, by us having MP3 players, and then with the tablets came out, we was getting music as they was putting it out. So I'm getting all the latest music. So by me going for 13 years, man, I'm asking every young cat would come in, hey bro, what y'all on? What y'all rocking out here? Because I didn't want to come home, man. My thoughts, I didn't want to be a dinosaur. Come
Right.
home. And, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to move with the time. I'm one of them older cats that, man, what we was doing was cool. But bro, you got to move with the time. Just like with anything, if you don't move with the time, you're gonna become extinct. So I was always into that. So everything that was coming out, I would have my homeboys let me know. They send me pictures. I'm showing everybody in the unit doing all this. So they end up closing Muskegon. We went to St. Louis. They closed Muskegon. They shipped all of us to St. Louis level 1. Man, I went to St. Louis level 1. You know, a lot of people came from St. Louis level 1. Man, you had Doug came from St. Louis level 1. You had T came from St. Louis level 1. You had Chapel Boy Slim was all in there in St. Louis 1. Poe Campaign, that's with All Star Ball Hard, that was with T Group, came from level 1. So man, it just inspired me, man. You could just feel the energy, bro. Like everybody was in there working on something. Got in there, man. I was moving and grooving, doing as I do, and I put the first book out. Halloween. Man, I'm talking about, man, people mouth drops. I'm like, because they never seen this happen while somebody was in there. Then 6 months later, I'm talking about this hit right before COVID. I put my second book out. Man, people couldn't believe this stuff. So as all the books coming out, COVID dropped. The warden come to me. He say, man, call me to the front. He said, man, I can't let you keep on getting your books in here. He said, man, you showing that you having too much power in here. He said, man, if you could do this, you could start putting messages in these books and having people think other stuff. So they quit letting me get my books while I was incarcerated.
Damn.
Man, I'm talking about my books was in everywhere. I'm talking about Meech had it, Street Lord Wine had it, man. We was sending books everywhere. All the joints had them and everything.
Damn, you Randall from recess, you tell a lie. I'm like the Weight Watchers, I use my scale a lot. Stop window shopping 1 packs, you gon' be a sell or not. You ain't never seen no bullets at them or trailer out. My bitch remind me of RJ, she always trippin'. They get into it with us to turn the sauce to chips, they always dippin'. Yeah, we could do the same shit, but I say it different. My young boys Jehovah Witness, they be paying visits. How you a player like you say you was for that pussy you paying pimpin'? Everything I put out so raw, you just can't sniff. I got the best O-line, even on goal line, you can't bliss it. You not a hustler, you keep getting in front of, you just can't flip it. You ain't really got it, you P. Diddy, you be remixing. Oh, where we just got a new Glock, that's a free biscuit. Petty Tupac know what's up, we know on the mill ticket. They probably for your music a little more if you real with it. I get that sniff and put my heel in. You have PlayStation party meetings, I'm about real big. I'm a SCD, I'm here, you don't like it, gotta deal with it.